versus Pacers. Who's gonna win? Sunday is game 1, Cavs versus Pacers. I think I'm picking Cavs in 6. I don't think this is gonna be a short series by any means. I could see it also going 7 and just coming down to the wire. And in that case, it really could go either way because Indiana can close it out as well. But I do think the Cavs are going to overpower them in some ways and be able to close out the series in 6. Unlike some of the other series we have seen, this may be a series where the results are 130 to 125. Like, both of these teams score a ton of points, and the Pacers, we know especially, love to play fast. The matchup I'm going to be looking for especially is going to be the Miles Turner versus Evan Mobley or Jared Allen, whichever, player is going to be guarding Miles Turner. Don't get me wrong, Miles Turner is a scoring threat, especially from 3, which is why I'm going to be watching this matchup. But I do think Evan Mobley is going to end up guarding Pascal Siakam because we know that man can drop 30 and maybe average 30 in the series. Like, he is a serious scoring threat. And so I do think they'll put Evan Mobley, who is the Defensive Player of the Year, on Pascal Siakam. I think he will have a better chance of guarding him than Jared Allen. So really, like I said, I'm looking out for Evan Mobley obviously matching up against Pascal Siakam, but the Jared Allen versus Miles Turner, matchup. Because Miles Turner is going to bring Jared Allen out to the perimeter at all times because Miles Turner loves to shoot threes and he's really good at it. So how is this going to affect the Cavs on offense and defense? Like, Jared Allen's not going to be able to be at the rim as much as he usually is to get rebounds because he's going to be pulled out on the perimeter. So everybody else is going to have to pick up the slack for him, so to speak, and crash the glass and box out in order to get rebounds so that the Pacers don't get second chance points. So I feel like that is one of the most key matchups for this series, and that matchup alone may decide the series because Miles Turner, when he gets hot, he'll make 4 threes in a row and all of a sudden Miles Turner has 20 points. Because we know Jared Allen's not going to shoot threes, so he has to win his matchup. Like, if he's not able to, be in the paint and get rebounds, he needs to at least make sure that Miles Turner is getting his shot blocked or he's just taking super contested shots in, so that way that he doesn't shoot 45% from 3 in the series. I'm also looking for Donovan Mitchell to elevate his team this series. Now, like I said, I'm picking Cavs in 6. I think they have so much, depth off the bench. And not that the Pacers don't have any depth, but Ty Jerome was a candidate for 6th Man of the Year. I thought DeAndre Hunter should have been a candidate for 6th Man of the Year. He was not a finalist, but they have 2 players off their bench who can literally get 20 apiece. And that's being generous, or not generous, that's being conservative. They could get literally 40 points from 2 players off the bench. That is an entire quarter's worth of points. So the Pacers are going to have their hands full with being able to stop the Cavs bench because that also may be where the series is won. Like, whose bench gives them more points and more defense? DeAndre Hunter, top tier defender too. Don't get it twisted. He's going to lock you up. I think I somehow lost track of what I was saying about Donovan Mitchell. I started talking about the bench and I forgot to finish my train of thoughts. But I'm looking for Donovan Mitchell to honestly average 29 in the series. Now, I'm not saying they need him to average 29 to win, but I am looking for him to be a top tier scorer in this series. And the reason is, while they have, this team, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, they've all been to the playoffs with Donovan Mitchell. They got bounced out pretty early, and the entire roster doesn't have, the most experience. They definitely have some, don't get me wrong, but they definitely need Donovan Mitchell, who has so much playoff experience, to lead them in this series. I feel like the Pacers have just been more battle tested, and so when things get shaky, I know the Pacers are still going to step up and come through. We saw them do it against the Bucks. I know the Bucks obviously, didn't have Dame and stuff like that. He was in and out, but shout out to Dame, by the way, also. Hope he heals up soon. My point is, I just know that the Pacers will figure it out, on how to score points and get some stops down the stretch. And I'm not saying the Cavs don't know how to do that and they won't do that, because again, I picked Cavs in 6. What I'm saying is I think Donovan Mitchell needs to be an extreme scorer in order to calm them down in times where they may be a little bit rattled. I feel like this series will be more of a test for them because obviously Miami was not equipped. I said that would be a good test for Evan Mobley to play against, a center in Bam who can guard multiple positions. He's athletic. You know, he has good lateral quickness. Like someone who is a tough guard. So I thought that was, a good series for Evan Mobley to learn from. In general, I thought it was going to be Cavs in 5, and it ends up being a sweep. So they were not tested yet in this playoffs, and the Pacers will definitely not give up. So those are my 3 keys to the series. Miles Turner versus Jared Allen. Whose bench is going to outplay the other? And specifically, how are you going to stop DeAndre Hunter and Ty Jerome? And Donovan Mitchell playing lights out.